She was a beginner, and they laughed at her before the class even started, said she wouldn't last a minute on the mat. But when she faced the black belt champion, it only took seconds to bring him down. And in the silence that followed, everyone knew underestimating her was their biggest mistake. The room smelled like sweat and rubber mats, and the air buzzed with idle chatter and ego. Donna stood near the doorway, adjusting her oversized t-shirt and clutching the loner GI. The receptionist handed her. A man with a shaved head whispered something to his friend and smirked. "She won't last 5 minutes," he said loud enough for her to hear. It wasn't the first time Donna had been underestimated, but this time, it stung differently. She had just turned 57, newly divorced after 30 years of marriage. Her hands still wore the faint grooves of a wedding ring she'd taken off months ago. She wasn't here to prove anything to anyone, at least, that's what she told herself. But truth be told, she had something to reclaim. Not just her strength, herself. The instructor barely acknowledged her as class started. The warm-up was punishing. Her legs cramped, her face flushed. She stumbled during drills while the others paired off like they belonged. Still, she stayed, not because she felt strong, but because something inside her refused to leave. She had been dismissed her whole life, by her husband, by colleagues, even by herself. But here, in this room of padded floors and quiet brutality, Donna decided she wouldn't walk away this time. Donna's body ached before the first hour even ended. Every joint screamed in protest as she fumbled through takedowns and guard passes she could barely pronounce, let alone perform. The floor felt unforgiving beneath her knees. Her breath came fast and shallow. By the time the instructor called for water, she was already questioning everything. She found a corner bench and sat with her back against the wall, hiding her wince as she stretched her sore shoulder. Around her, the others laughed easily, joking about past tournaments and belt promotions. No one looked her way. She was invisible, except when she wasn't. A young man named Kyle, maybe early 20s, snuck a glance and chuckled. "Should have signed up for yoga, Grandma," he muttered to his friend. Donna's cheeks flushed, but she said nothing. Her daughter had warned her, "Mom, Jiu-Jitsu, at your age. What are you trying to prove?" Donna hadn't known how to answer. She only knew that something inside her had gone quiet over the years, quieter than it should have, and that silence had become unbearable. When sparring began, Donna was partnered with a woman half her size and twice as fast. She was swept, mounted, and submitted in under 30 seconds. The second round wasn't much better. By the third, the coach didn't even pair her. He simply nodded toward the wall. "You can rest, Donna," he said, with that careful tone people used when they didn't want to sound dismissive but didn't want to waste time either. She sat back down, trying to hide the tears threatening to surface. But then, across the room, she saw something. A small girl, maybe 11, watching through the glass window with wide eyes. Her hands were pressed against the pane, and her face lit up whenever someone executed a clean throw or escaped a hold. She wasn't laughing. She was dreaming. Donna remembered. Years ago, when her daughter was just that age, she'd taken her to self-defense classes after a neighbor's scare. Donna hadn't stepped on the mat back then. She'd watched from a chair, cheering quietly, but she remembered the look in her daughter's eyes when she said, "You'd be good at this, Mom. You always know how to fight back." That night, at home, Donna soaked in Epsom salts, nursing her bruises. Her whole body ached, her pride even more, but instead of canceling her membership like she had planned, she opened her laptop and searched Jiu-Jitsu basics for beginners over 50. She didn't want to be laughed at again, but more than that, she didn't want to give up on herself again. And just before bed, she made a quiet vow, "I may not be strong yet, but I'm staying." What Donna didn't know was that someone had filmed her sparring match, and her fall was about to be shared in a private group chat titled "Mat Fail Friday," but they had no idea who they had just underestimated. Donna returned to the gym the next week, quiet and determined. Her bruises had turned yellow and purple, like reminders she carried beneath her sleeves. She entered through the same side door, nodded to the front desk girl, and walked straight to the far corner of the mat, her unofficial space, where no one really noticed her, and that was fine. She didn't come for attention. She came to build something invisible. She started arriving earlier than everyone else, 10 minutes, then 20. She'd stretch in silence, repeating the drills she'd seen in YouTube videos, shrimping across the mat, rolling her hips, practicing grip breaks. Her movements were clumsy, but there was something beneath them, the kind of commitment that doesn't make noise but never stops moving forward. The others continued to dismiss her. Some even forgot her name. "You still at it?" Kyle smirked once. "You must really like losing." Donna gave him a faint smile. "I must," she said, and turned back to her drill. She wasn't here for his approval, or anyone's. Home, her routine became almost monk-like. She'd watch competition footage during dinner, pause, rewind, practice with a towel or pillow when no one was watching. Her daughter Nicole came by once and raised an eyebrow. "Mom, are you okay?" Donna laughed. "I'm not trying to fight anyone. I'm just ... tired of sitting still." What she didn't tell Nicole was this. For decades, she had played the role of the peacekeeper, the wife who forgave too much, the coworker who stayed quiet during meetings, the mother who didn't have time for herself. Jiu-Jitsu wasn't about violence. It was about reclaiming control, one grip at a time. As weeks passed, her body began to respond. Her core stabilized. Her legs got stronger. Her breath lasted longer during rolls. She still lost every spar, but she lasted longer, escaped more, defended better. Her coach started nodding at her more often. "Nice frame," he said once. It was the first time he acknowledged her with real respect. But outside the gym, the group chat where her video had been posted kept growing. It wasn't just laughs anymore. Someone had edited the clip, adding cartoonish sound effects to her fall. A student named Rachel thought it was harmless fun. "She won't even see it," she texted. "Old people don't check social media." What they didn't realize was that Donna had an account, and that night, a friend from work forwarded her the video. Donna watched the clip alone at her kitchen table, her fall on loop. The laughter, the mocking edits. For a long moment, she stared at the screen. Then she opened a blank notebook, wrote one sentence in bold letters, and underlined it twice. "Make them regret it." Pain became a familiar companion, like an old acquaintance who never quite left. Donna woke up each morning with tight shoulders and aching knees, her body reminding her that every movement had a cost. But she no longer feared the soreness. In fact, she welcomed it. It meant she was changing. Still, the challenges mounted. During one class, she twisted awkwardly out of a guard pass and felt a sharp pinch in her hip. The pain was instant and deep. She froze, eyes clenched. But when the coach glanced her way, she forced a smile and gave a quick thumbs up. He moved on. Donna kept training. At home, she limped from kitchen to couch, biting back groans with each step. Nicole noticed the strain and grew concerned. "You're not 20 anymore," she said gently, placing ice on her mother's hip. "No one's expecting you to be a fighter." Donna managed a tired laugh. "That's the point. No one ever expected me to fight." Later that night, alone in her bedroom, Donna stared at the ceiling and wondered if maybe this was it, her limit. She thought of quitting, again, thought of writing a polite email to the gym, saying thanks, but no thanks. But before she could draft the words, a notification lit up her phone. It was a comment from a stranger, a woman named Lisa, who had seen the viral video. "I don't know who you are," it read, "but I saw your face when you stood back up. I saw me in your eyes. Please don't stop." Donna's fingers hovered above the screen, stunned. The words weren't mocking or cruel. They were a mirror. Someone, somewhere, had felt what she felt. That changed everything. She began modifying her training. She wrapped her joints more carefully, focused on technique instead of speed, studied leverage, balance, timing, all things that didn't require youth, only patience and presence. Her rolls became smarter. She began noticing when opponents overcommitted, when their center shifted. She no longer fought against pain, she moved with it. One evening, after class, she caught her coach watching her with a different expression, one not of pity, but consideration. He approached, arms crossed, and said, "You ever thought about competing?" Donna blinked. "Me." He shrugged. "We've got a friendly in-house tournament next month. No pressure, just ... Think about it." She laughed, genuinely this time. "I'm still learning how to stand back up without swearing." He smiled. "And yet, somehow, you're still here. That says more than you think." That night, Donna stood in front of her bathroom mirror, wrapped in a towel, and stared at the faint bruises along her arms. Then she whispered to her reflection, "Let's give them something they'll never forget." It was a regular Wednesday evening when the gym's door swung open with unusual energy. Conversations paused, eyes shifted, Donna was stretching quietly in her corner when she noticed the shift in tone. Voices softened, postures straightened. Then she saw him, Derek Cotta. He walked in like he owned the place, tall, broad, perfectly groomed. His black belt hung loose around his waist like a badge of legend. Word traveled fast. Derek had just returned from California, where he trained at a prestigious academy and earned a few local titles. He wasn't just a black belt, he was the black belt. Everyone remembered him. Everyone admired him. Everyone, except Donna Tuho. He was just another man who hadn't earned her respect yet. As the coach welcomed him back, the students gathered around like excited kids. Donna stayed back, observing. Derek scanned the room, made eye contact with a few familiar faces, and then let his gaze settle on her. His smile was polite, but amused. He leaned over to someone and whispered something that made them laugh. Donna didn't flinch. The class began with drills, but Derek didn't join. He stood to the side, arms folded, watching like a lion picking his prey. When sparring started, the coach clapped his hands and said casually, "Let's mix it up a bit. Derek, why don't you jump in?" People hesitated. No one wanted to roll with someone that good. "I'll go," Donna said, before anyone else could speak. The mat went quiet. Some smirked. One student chuckled out loud, but quickly stopped when Donna met his eyes. She stepped onto the mat, tightened her belt, and faced Derek. He grinned. "Sure, you're ready for this. I guess we'll both find out," she replied evenly. They bumped fists. Time slowed. Donna's breath steadied as she remembered her hours of study, her bruises, her pain, her notebooks. Derek made the first move fast and confident, but overcommitted just slightly. That's all Donna needed. In a blur, she shifted her hips, trapped his arm, and executed a sweep she'd practiced 100 times at home with a rolled-up towel. He landed hard. She followed the momentum and transitioned directly into a tight armbar. The gym froze. Derek tapped. It had taken 12 seconds. No one spoke. Donna stood, offered her hand to help him up. He hesitated, then took it, his expression unreadable. Around them, the silence cracked, not with laughter, not with disbelief, but with a quiet, collective realization. This woman they had all ignored had just done the impossible. As she stepped off the mat, sweat dripping from her temple and breath calm, Donna didn't smile. She didn't need to, because in that moment, she wasn't just someone's mom, or ex-wife, or beginner. She was the storm they never saw coming. The next day, Donna walked into the gym like nothing had happened. Same quiet demeanor, same corner of the mat, same deep breath before warm-ups. But everything had changed, not just for the others, but for her. For the first time in years, she felt a weight lift from her chest. Not the kind of relief that comes from escaping something hard, but the kind that comes from becoming something harder. The class buzzed with whispers. No one openly mentioned the match with Derek, but the glances said enough. A few students greeted her with new eyes. Less amusement, more curiosity. One even asked, "Hey, could you show me that sweep later?" Donna just nodded, grateful for the shift, wary of the attention. Inside, however, a storm brewed quietly. It wasn't rage, it wasn't pride, it was resolve, a deep, steady current she hadn't felt since she was in her 20s. Raising her daughter alone while working 2 jobs. Back then, she didn't have time to think about being powerful. She just was. Now, decades later, that woman was waking up again. After class, Donna stayed behind to drill with a girl named Camila Young, shy, barely 17. Camila had avoided sparring since her first class, too nervous to be seen. But something had shifted. She approached Donna timidly, eyes wide. "Would you mind showing me, that thing you did yesterday?" Donna smiled. "You mean the sweep?" Camila nodded. "It looked like magic." "It's not magic," Donna said gently. "It's just knowing when to move." They practiced slowly. Donna corrected her stance, encouraged her to breathe, and watched as Camila's confidence grew with each try. Around them, the gym was mostly empty. Just 2 women, 2 generations, and a shared understanding that power isn't always loud. Sometimes, it grows in silence. Later that night, Donna sat on her back porch with a cup of tea, wrapped in a blanket, legs still sore. She checked her phone, half expecting silence but found something else. The video of her match had made it into a local martial arts group online. No edits, no mockery, just a caption. "Never underestimate anyone." The comments were filled with stunned respect. One read, "I was there. She didn't just beat him, she outsmarted him. Another proof that age means nothing when your will is strong. And then, tucked between them, a message from Derek himself. I got sloppy. She didn't. She earned it. Donna read it twice. Then once more. Not because she needed his validation, but because it marked something rare. Recognition from someone who once saw through her like glass. She leaned back in her chair, eyes on the stars, heart steady. The girl who had once kept her voice small now roared quietly from within. And this time, Donna had no intention of silencing her again. The gym was full again the following week. The kind of packed evening where latecomers had to warm up on the sidelines. Donna arrived early, as usual, stretching near the wall, unnoticed by most. She liked it that way. Her presence didn't need to be loud. Her actions were speaking clearly now. People still whispered. But it wasn't ridicule anymore. It was curiosity, respect, confusion. Some wondered if her win against Derek had been a fluke. Others had started watching her roll more closely, dissecting her timing, her calm. A few students, mostly the quiet ones, began offering to drill with her. Coach Mike gave her a new nod that week. Not the polite, generic kind. This one had weight. You ready for some advanced work? He asked casually. Donna blinked. You serious? You've earned it, he said, tossing her a new drill sheet. Start slow. But yeah, I'm serious. During drills, her body moved with quiet precision. She wasn't the strongest, she wasn't the fastest, but there was something in her pacing, her timing, like a musician who doesn't play louder, just better. She had learned to wait, to feel the rhythm of her opponent, and when the rhythm broke, she moved. When sparring time came, the room shifted again. Donna was paired with Rachel, the same woman who had once shared the mocking video in that group chat. Their eyes met briefly. No words, just a shared history hanging in the air. They slapped hands, bumped fists, rolled. Rachel came in aggressive fast passes, sharp grips, a flurry of movement meant to overwhelm, but Donna stayed calm. She breathed, she waited, she used Rachel's momentum against her, turning defense into control into opportunity, and then, smoothly, she transitioned into mount and held it. The timer hadn't even hit the 2-minute mark. Rachel tapped. It wasn't the submission that echoed, it was what followed. No one clapped, no one jeered, just silence, a silence filled with the unspoken weight of what had just happened. Again, Donna stood, extended a hand. Rachel hesitated, then took it. Not because she wanted to, but because she had to. Respect, even reluctant, has a weight of its own. As Donna returned to her corner, she caught a glimpse of her reflection in the wall mirror. She didn't look like a fighter. She looked like a woman who had stopped asking permission to be strong. That night, as she left the gym, someone held the door open for her. A small gesture, but one that hadn't happened in weeks. And for the first time since her first humiliating fall, Donna felt it deep in her bones. Not just that she belonged, but that she had rewritten the rules for what belonging looked like. The next few days at the gym felt different. Not louder, not more dramatic, just heavier. Like everyone was walking through a space that had been reshaped by something they didn't quite know how to name. Donna still arrived early, still trained with focus, still avoided the center of attention. But now, people made space for her on the mat, not out of pity, but out of recognition. Camila, the shy teenager she had helped a week earlier, now waited by the door for her to arrive. Can I drill with you again? She'd ask with a hopeful smile. Donna never said no. She saw pieces of herself in that girl, the hesitation, the doubt, the spark waiting to ignite. During water breaks, even the louder guys who used to ignore her started approaching. That grip transition you used on Rachel. Can you show me that? One asked. Another added, I've been trying that sweep you did on Derek. I keep messing it up. Donna offered to help, calmly, without a trace of smugness. Her quiet humility only deepened the impact. Coach Mike called her aside after class that Thursday. You ever think about coaching? He asked. Donna raised a brow. Me? You've got patience, and people watch you now, more than you think. She didn't answer right away. Teaching had never crossed her mind. She was still figuring herself out, still rebuilding from years of silence. But even the question meant something. It meant she was no longer just tolerated. She was trusted. That weekend, the gym hosted a small community open mat. Family and friends were invited to watch, try a few techniques, eat, laugh. Nicole came, reluctantly. She hadn't seen her mother train yet, and part of her still thought this was a phase. But when she walked in and saw how others looked at Donna, not like a beginner, but like someone who meant something, her expression softened. Donna demonstrated a basic drill with Camila, then guided a few parents through a safe take exercise. Nicole sat quietly in the back, hands folded, watching her mother move across the mat with confidence, clarity, and control. She wasn't just learning Jiu-Jitsu, she was becoming someone entirely new. Later that day, Nicole pulled her aside near the bleachers. "You single quotes read ... not who I remember," she said quietly. "You seem taller, stronger, like something woke up in you." Donna smiled gently. Maybe it did. And just before they left, a woman in her 60s approached Donna with tears in her eyes. "I've been watching your matches," she whispered. "I was going to sign up last year, but I thought I was too old. After seeing you, I just ... I changed my mind." Donna touched her arm softly. It's never too late to stop being invisible. Long before the gym, long before the divorce, before the bruises and mat burns and quiet victories, there was another version of Donna, one few people ever knew. She had been 27, living in a cramped one-bedroom apartment with Nicole, who was just a toddler then. Her sister Elise had shown up at her door late one night with a black eye and a duffel bag. No explanation, no questions asked. Donna let her in. For months, Elise stayed in Donna's apartment, hiding from the man who had promised to love her, but instead controlled her like a shadow. One evening, he came pounding on the door, shouting her name. Donna told Elise to take Nicole into the bathroom and lock the door. Then, she opened it. What followed wasn't some heroic showdown. It was clumsy, it was terrifying, but it was decisive. She grabbed the metal rod from her closet, the one that held her shower curtain, and struck his shin as he lunged. Then again, across the ribs. She didn't scream, she didn't run, she just kept moving. He left, bloodied and furious, but he never came back. She never told many people what happened. There were no police reports, no parades of praise, just a quiet understanding between sisters that Donna would never be the kind of woman who stood by while someone was hurt. Years later, she buried that fire under routine. Marriage, work, raising Nicole. Somewhere along the way, the Donna who had once fought for others disappeared into laundry cycles, silent dinners, and the habit of saying "it's fine" even when it wasn single quotes t. Until jiu-jitsu. Until the moment she stepped onto the mat, unsure and uncomfortable, and something old stirred. The strength people saw now wasn't new. It wasn't built on mats or videos or black belts. It had always been there, waiting beneath the surface, aching to be remembered. They thought she was just some middle-aged woman trying to stay active. They didn't know she'd once stared down a monster with nothing but a hollow rod and the will to not break. That memory came back to her now, clear and sharp, as she sat alone in the gym after hours, tying and retying her belt, feeling the familiar pulse in her chest, that steady drumbeat of readiness. She wasn't training to win medals, she was training to never disappear again. Coach Mike peeked in from the hallway. "Still here?" Donna looked up. "Just finishing a few things," he smiled. "Tournaments in 2 weeks. You sure you don't want in?" She didn't answer right away. She just looked at the mat, then nodded. "Yeah, I'm sure." The gym was buzzing the morning of the in-house tournament. Donna arrived early, just as she always did, but this time there was a folding chair with her name on it. Nicole sat beside it, holding a small thermos of coffee and trying not to look nervous. Donna wasn't. She wasn't here to beat anyone. She was here to remember. The matches started slow, white belts going first, then blue, then purple. Donna waited her turn, watching every detail, the grips, the tempo, the nerves behind each movement. When her name was called, she rose quietly and stepped onto the mat. Her opponent was younger, of course, and stronger, clearly used to moving faster and striking harder, but Donna had learned not to chase. She let her opponent burn out early, using power to dominate the first 30 seconds. But Donna stayed calm. She waited, and when the opening came, a single misstep, a misplaced knee, she swept past, mounted, controlled, submitted. No one cheered, no one expected it, but the silence afterward, it was familiar. Match after match, Donna advanced, not because she was the most talented, but because she had something no one else did: resolve, and timing, and a lifetime of knowing when to stay still and when to rise. By the finals, the gym had grown quieter, not louder. People were watching now, closely. not with disbelief, but with anticipation. Could she actually do this? Her last opponent was a brown belt with 10 years of experience. Donna wasn't supposed to be there, not technically, not by rank, not by age, but no one questioned it now. She bowed, bumped fists, and began. The match was a storm. Sweeps, reversals, scrambles, sweat dripped from her brow, her breath shortened, and her arms shook with effort, but she held on. Every time she wanted to stop, she remembered Elise. She remembered the bruises. She remembered the night she didn't run. That fire had kept her alive once, and it was carrying her now. She didn't win. The final match went 2 points, and Donna lost by 3. But when the buzzer sounded and they stood to bow, the entire gym rose to their feet. Not for the winner, for her. She didn't need the gold medal. She'd already taken back something far more valuable: her voice, her strength, her worth. As she walked off the mat, Nicole met her with open arms. "You didn't win," she whispered tearfully, "but you won." Donna laughed, breathless, drenched in sweat. "I wasn't trying to win," she said softly. "I was just trying to remember who I was." And in that moment, surrounded by sweat, respect, and silence, she did. If this story touched you, I'd love for you to stay a little longer with us. Tell me, where are you watching from? And what moment in this story stayed with you the most? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. There's always someone out there who needs to be reminded that it's never too late to rise.